This is the last manual transmission Porsche will ever build. In 6 months, it goes to the crusher. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. Welcome to the Tremec factory in Querétaro, Mexico, where for the past 40 years they've been building the manual transmissions that go into Corvettes, Mustangs, and Camaros. This production line used to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now it runs 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. Next year, it shuts down permanently. In the past 5 years, we've lost the manual transmission from the BMW M5, the Mercedes-AMG GT, the Audi R8, the Nissan GT-R. The Honda Civic Type R is barely hanging on. And even Ferrari, the company that built its entire reputation on driver engagement, hasn't offered a manual in a new car since 2011. I'm standing at ground zero of an automotive extinction event, and over the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why the manual transmission is dying, who's fighting to save it, and why the generation that grew up rowing their own gears might be the last one that ever does. Because the numbers don't lie, and they're absolutely brutal. Let's start with the data, because it's genuinely shocking. In 1992, 35% of new cars sold in the United States had manual transmissions. By 2006, that dropped to 20%. In 2016, it was 7%. Today, in 2024, it's 1.7%. 1.7. Drop a comment right now. Do you know how to drive a manual transmission? Because I'm genuinely curious, what percentage of people watching this video actually learned? I went to 15 car dealerships last month asking to test drive manual transmission cars. You want to know how many had one on the lot? 2. Out of 15 dealerships, only 2 had a single manual car available to test drive. And in both cases, it was a base model Civic that they were using as a loaner because it was the cheapest car they had. I asked a Honda salesman how often people request a manual. He said, maybe once every 3 months, someone asks, and when I show them one, they usually change their mind because they realize their spouse can't drive it, or they're worried about resale value, or they don't want to deal with it in traffic. But here's what really tells you, the manual is dying. Walk through any automotive engineering facility today, and you'll find something disturbing. The average age of a transmission engineer who specializes in manuals is 53 years old. 53. Nobody under 30 is learning how to design these things anymore, because by the time they'd be senior engineers, there won't be any manual transmissions left to design. I talked to a guy who's been designing manual transmissions at Tremec for 30 years. He's training 0 apprentices. Nobody's learning this craft because everyone knows there's no future in it. In 10 years, the institutional knowledge of how to build a really good manual transmission will just disappear, and we'll never get it back. Okay, so why is this happening? The answer everyone gives is automatics got better. And that's true, but it's not the whole story. Modern dual-clutch transmissions shift faster than any human can. They're more fuel-efficient, and they make cars accelerate quicker. The 2024 Porsche 911 GT3 with PDK is literally 0.3 of a second faster to 60 miles per hour than the same car with a manual. Quick poll for the comments. If you could have your dream car, but it was 0.2 of a second slower to 60 because it had a manual, would you take it? I want to see where people actually stand on this. But here's what nobody talks about. The economics are absolutely brutal. It costs a car manufacturer between $40 and $60 million to develop a new manual transmission. That includes engineering, testing, certification, tooling up the factory, training the assembly workers, everything. And once they've spent that 60 million, they're selling maybe 5,000 units a year in a good year. Let's do the math. $60 million divided by 5,000 cars equals $12,000 per car just to recoup development costs. But the actual manual transmission only costs about $1,500 to manufacture. So, the manufacturer is losing money on every single manual they sell, unless they can amortize that development cost over at least 40,000 units. And almost nobody's selling 40,000 manuals anymore. Then there's the problem nobody wants to admit. Modern traffic absolutely sucks for manual transmissions. I daily drove a manual transmission car in Los Angeles for 3 years. My left leg was noticeably bigger than my right leg from constant clutch work. I developed knee problems at 32 years old from stop-and-go traffic on the 405. The average American now spends 54 minutes per day in their car, and a huge percentage of that is stop-and-go traffic. If you're shifting from first to second to first to neutral to first to second 90 times during a 20-minute commute, that enthusiasm for driver engagement starts feeling like punishment real fast. Plus, here's a stat that blew my mind. Only 18% of Americans who got their driver's license after 2010 ever learned to drive a manual transmission. 18%, which means 82% of people under 30 literally cannot drive a manual car even if they want to buy one. The skill is dying along with the transmission. Honest question, if you don't know how to drive manual, would you be willing to learn for the right car? Comment yes or no, and let's see if there's hope here. But here's where the story gets interesting. There's a small but passionate group of manufacturers who are fighting like hell to keep the manual alive. And they're doing it for reasons that have nothing to do with logic or economics. Porsche is the perfect example. The 911 GT3 Touring, which starts at $200,000, is available only with a manual transmission, not as an option, not as the cheaper version. It's manual or nothing. And here's the crazy part. There's a 2-year waiting list to buy one. Porsche could sell literally twice as many if they could make them faster. I talked to Andreas Preuninger, the head of Porsche's GT car division, and he told me something that I can't stop thinking about. He said, "We know the PDK is faster. We know it's more efficient. We know it makes better lap times. But the manual GT3 Touring exists because driving isn't just about lap times. It exists because some experiences are worth preserving even when they're not optimal." Honda is another holdout. The Civic Type R, which just came back to the U.S. market, is manual only. No automatic option, no hybrid option, no CVT. Just a 6-speed manual and 300 horsepower, sent through the front wheels like it's 1995. And you know what? They're selling every single one they can build. Mazda's the most interesting case. The Miata, which is objectively not a fast car and doesn't make any rational sense in 2024, is available only with a manual transmission in most markets. Mazda's official position is that the Miata exists to be fun, not fast, and a manual transmission is more fun. Period. No compromise. Real talk. Would you buy a slower, less efficient, less practical car just because it has a manual? Hit that like button if yes, because that's basically what we're asking people to do. There's also a grassroots movement happening. There are driving schools that specifically teach manual transmission skills to young people who never learned. I visited one in California where they're teaching teenagers and people in their 20s how to drive stick, and there's a 6-week waiting list. People are actively choosing to learn a skill that has no practical value anymore, just because they want to be part of this before it's gone. The used manual car market is also doing something weird. Clean examples of manual transmission BMWs, Porsches, and Hondas are appreciating in value, while their automatic equivalents depreciate normally. A 2006 Honda S2000 with a manual is worth more today than it was in 2018. The market is pricing in nostalgia and scarcity. Here's where this gets really interesting. There's a massive generational divide happening, and it's creating this weird cultural moment. On TikTok, there are these viral videos of Gen Z learning to drive manual for the first time, and they're treated like ancient lost knowledge. There are comments like, "I didn't know cars could even do this," and "Why would anyone want to make driving harder?" It's like watching someone discover a rotary phone or a typewriter. The manual transmission has become retro before it's even gone. But then you talk to people in their 30s and 40s, and the manual transmission represents something totally different. I interviewed 30 people who daily drive manuals, and almost all of them use the same phrase: connection to the car. They talked about it almost spiritually. One guy told me, "When I'm rowing through the gears on a mountain road, I'm not thinking about work or bills or anything else. It's the only time my brain actually shuts up. You can't be on your phone. You can't be distracted. Your left foot, and right hand all have to work together, and that requires just enough concentration that everything else disappears." For people who drive manual, what's your honest reason? Is it actually more fun, or is it nostalgia? And for people who don't, what would it take to convince you to learn? Comments below. Every single professional driver and automotive journalist I talked to said the same thing. They prefer manuals for road driving, even though they prefer automatics for track driving. On a track where you're trying to go fast, the dual clutch is objectively better. But on a canyon road where you're driving for enjoyment, the manual is more engaging. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Modern automatics are so good that they make driving kind of boring. The car does everything for you. It shifts at the perfect moment. It rev matches downshifts. It optimizes gear selection for fuel economy or performance. You're just steering and modulating the throttle. It's efficient, but it's not involving. The counter-argument is equally valid. Most driving isn't fun. Most driving is commuting, sitting in traffic, running errands. For those tasks, an automatic is objectively better. The manual transmission makes sense only if you actually enjoy driving and do it for its own sake. And most people don't. Most people view driving as transportation, not entertainment. So here's the brutal reality of what's coming. In the next 5 years, we're going to lose the manual transmission from almost every mainstream car. Mazda will probably keep it in the Miata because that's the whole point of the Miata. Porsche will keep it in some GT cars because their customers will pay anything to have it. Toyota might keep it in the GR86, and that's basically it. By 2030, most new cars will be electric or hybrid, and you can't put a manual transmission in an EV. The physics doesn't work. Electric motors deliver instant torque at 0 RPM. They don't need gear changes, and adding a manual would make the car objectively worse. Some companies are working on simulated manual transmissions for EVs that don't actually do anything mechanical. They just give you a shifter and clutch that pretend to change gears while the computer ignores your inputs and does what it wants anyway. And here's what I think about that. It's pathetic. If we're going to let the manual die, let it die with dignity. Don't create some fake simulation that mimics the experience without the mechanical reality. That's like serving someone a plant-based burger and insisting they call it meat. Either commit to the future or preserve the past, but don't do this weird half measure that satisfies nobody. 20 years from now, manual transmissions will be in museums. They'll be displayed next to carburetors and distributor caps as technologies that used to be essential and are now completely obsolete. Kids will ask their parents, "Wait, you had to change gears yourself? Why?" And we won't have a good answer except, "Because it was fun." But here's the thing, it was fun, is fun. If you've never experienced a perfectly rev-matched downshift into a second-gear corner where the mechanical symphony of engine and transmission and clutch all work together in perfect harmony, you've missed something genuinely special. It's not rational, it's not faster, it's not more efficient, but neither is playing a musical instrument when you could just listen to Spotify. Comment, save the manuals, if you think manufacturers should keep making them, even though it doesn't make business sense. I want to see how many people actually care about this. The manual transmission represents a philosophy of driving that's disappearing. It's the idea that the journey matters, not just the destination, that engagement is more valuable than optimization, that sometimes making something harder makes it better. And maybe that's okay. Maybe every generation has technologies they mourn when they disappear. My parents missed carburetors. Their parents missed hand-crank starters. Now it's our turn to be the old people complaining that cars used to be better when they were more difficult. So what do we do? If you care about manual transmissions, buy one, not later, now. Because in 5 years, your options will be basically zero. Buy it used if you have to. Buy the cheapest one you can find, but buy something with 3 pedals while you still can. Learn to drive it. Teach your kids to drive it, not because it's practical, but because some skills are worth preserving even when they're obsolete. If you made it this far, here's what I need. Subscribe to this channel. We're documenting automotive culture as it disappears in real time. Next week, I'm visiting the last Tremec production line before it shuts down permanently. The week after that, we're going to a driving school that only teaches manual transmission skills. You don't want to miss this. Second, notifications, you know the drill. Bell icon. Click it. And third, watch this video next. It's about the last naturally aspirated engines, because guess what? They're dying too. Everything that makes cars engaging is being optimized away, and we're documenting it before it's gone. The manual transmission is dying, but it's not dead yet. And as long as there are still 3 pedals and a stick shift somewhere in the world, we're going to keep rowing gears. I'll see you in the next one.